Well, hey everybody, welcome back to Kpop Besties, where we talk about all things K-pop. I'm Wendy. Joining me as always is Warren and Law, my fellow besties. Hi everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. So today is a little bit different of a video, but it's something that we started the channel with, Warren and I, when we first started on this K-pop Besties journey. We said we were gonna do podcasts and just talking about K-pop news or music video, new album drops, whatever it may be. And so we're kind of going back to that in this video because we want to talk about all things Blackpink in your area,
In your area.
in your YouTube channel, on your computer screen. I don't know. So most recently, we got to essentially kind of live the Blackpink live. You know, they just had a concert here in LA closing out their US tour. They had a little Blackpink pop-up. All the three of us all went together. So we will talk about that. And of course, the girls I think are on their way back to Seoul. And they have 2 more concert days to officially finish up the Born Pink tour. So gentlemen, where do we want to go from here? Do we want to talk about concert experience? Do we want to talk about the pop-up? And how we're feeling about the end of the tour.
I want to know, whoever's watching right now, if you think this is the end for Blackpink. Because a lot of people have been talking about it, right? A lot of people said that in LA and, in all the recent shows, it really kind of felt like, these are encore shows, but they felt like goodbye shows. Like LA felt like, okay, this is like the last time they're performing like in America, and now they're going back to Seoul, and now it's like these are like the last 2 ever. And I mean, they're all big enough to do things on their own. They've been doing things on their own for a really long time. Jennie's getting into acting now. Jisoo's been into acting. Lisa's just done so much, and Rose does a lot as well. So it's like, is this it? Like, are they? I mean, it took years for us to get this past album as it was. So it's like, I don't know. What do y'all think?
Oh,
I think that's a really big question, but the point that you make that like could clue us in is the fact that it did take a really long time for this comeback, the most recent comeback, to happen. They debuted in 2016 or something like that. So when you think about the lifespan of a K-pop group, this could be a fine place to end, really. But they're also such mega popular people, like they're individually huge and together. The tour obviously did super well. It makes me think that there's still more in the tank, but because they're so busy with all their different avenues, it could be a very logical place for them to stop. But if I remember correctly, y'all said that the way they were speaking at the concert was almost like there was some suspicious stuff that maybe felt like it was the end, right? I'm curious about that. Like, is that us reading into it too much as K-pop fans, as we do, right, channel? But or is there more to it?
Yeah. I mean, almost every K-pop concert that I've had the pleasure of going to, other than KCON, because that's like usually it's very condensed. The artists don't get like that block of time to like properly address the fans at the very end of the concert, because it's very, you're sharing the stage with so many artists.
It's not their show specifically.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It's not their time to do that. But individual headlining shows with Blackpink twice, Stray Kids that I've, had the pleasure of seeing, they do take a quite long time before their like encore stage to talk about their feelings and get really sentimental, especially if it's like the last stop of like the US tour.
Right.
I saw that with Stray Kids, and I saw that with Blackpink twice. Oh, so not this year, but the encore tour, like the third one. I felt like they kind of took their time. So I am trying to not read too much into it. I do think that YG has not utilized the girls and let them make music and put out music and go on tours often as they should have.
Yeah.
They really, I don't know why I felt like they were kind of kept, I don't know, I don't know if they were kept, I don't know, I don't know if they were kept, 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 I don't know behind lock and key almost. Like they're too precious, no access to them. And I was like, Cody, we want them so much, and you finally put them on tour, and then they toured for almost a year. They started touring October of last year.
Yeah.
Which is insane for any group, I think.
Yeah.
So it does a little bit feel like a goodbye, but it could also be like because we're not going to be touring for a while, not because we're breaking up, but
well,
we're not going to be touring for a while.
I actually just thought about this when you talked about Stray Kids and Twice. I think with like every time I've seen them or anyone else that I've seen kind of recently, they're always like, we can't wait to see you again. We can't wait to come back to America. Blackpink did not say that.
They did at the last one.
Did they?
Like
okay.
The LA one, but they were coming back. Like everybody kind of predicted they were going to do this Encore tour.
No. I'm talking about at the Encores, because even when we saw Encore for Twice, they were like, we can't wait to see you again. We'll be back. Like they always, say that. And like, and in some cases, like Stray Kids, they're like, we want to be back and we want it to be bigger and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we didn't get like any of that from Blackpink. And
Blackpink's like, this was fine, right?
Yeah, right. Well, Rose even said, what did she said she called LA like San Jose at first. She's like, come on, San Jose, or something like that.
Vegas.
Las Vegas. She said Las Vegas. She's like, come on, Las Vegas. She's like, oh.
They're like, Rosie.
I know we have our final show back in Seoul for the end of the tour, but this is our last show for the US. So I feel like we don't take as much time to talk to you guys up on the stage, because you never know when we're going to be back. You never know. Just one song. I'm very sad to over the last sign the contract. It was so weird. It was such a long journey, just coming from, and we got over COVID, and then had our own Pink album, and started this tour, and met so many amazing places around the world. And today is our final day to say thank you.
Another thing that I thought of as well when you were talking about YG, Baby Monster is about to debut.
Yes.
So you want to talk about like time and attention that YG is giving to groups, like it's about to pretty much go into Baby Monster.
Yeah, I just hope YG doesn't do the thing they always tend to. It feels like put all of their eggs in one basket.
Right.
Like they weren't able to properly manage multiple groups at once, and it's like the joke was always, they can only handle one girl group at once,
right?
And look what happened with Icon. Like Icon also didn't, I feel like, get the recognition they should have had with YG, a group of super talented people. Should have been touring in America, and really barely did that. Like they went to camp. Icon at camp. I mean, I love that we got to see them at camp, but at the same time, I'm like, they need to be headlining. What is this? So my worry is that YG is continuing their trend of like one girl group at a time. They're putting all of their eggs in one basket with Baby Monster. And sure, maybe when Blackpink debuted, you can bet on Blackpink because there weren't 50 other million super competitive groups. Sure. But if you look at it now, and I'm not saying all the groups that debuted at the same time with Blackpink aren't talented. They debut because they are talented. They have what it takes, right? So I just want to clear that up because I know people would be like, they only like hear one thing and they're like, oh my God. But with Baby Monster, as talented as they are, because we've all seen the show.
They're super talented.
There's also New Jeans, Le Sserafim, Ive, Lapalus. There's why can't I think of the name right now? We just literally
Everglow, Kepler,
XG. Like there's so much talent right now. Yeah.
Aespa, that was the one I was trying to. I was like, we just
Aespa. I love Aespa. Karina, marry me.
So I just feel that these girls are gonna have to work even harder to, marketing aside, to really break through the crazy barrier that there is with K-pop. Like it's so competitive. And that's one of the reasons why I also think if like YG's smart about this, they would do what they can to give the members whatever they want on their contract.
Yeah.
With Blackpink?
Because they're established. They're already popular.
Well, they can negotiate now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They absolutely can.
Now it's pretty much like, why should I stay with you? Like,
Yeah,
why should I, do that? And actually, to that point, I do think that they are big enough to where they can take it into their own hands now.
Mhm.
And I don't think they'll ever like truly disband. And I say that thinking like maybe if they did truly like call it quits, like after they do the Soul shows, I mean, it's just like, Girls' Generation just came back after
Right.
so many years, right? Like,
Right,
I
yeah.
know that if Blackpink is like done, that like in 10 years they'll come back together to do like, I don't know, 5 shows or something, right? Or
Yeah.
just a song or something. I don't
Or a
think
variety show.
the variety show.
something.
Yeah,
Right,
I
yeah.
don't think they'll ever be done,
Mhm.
but I think we could be looking at a potential like
Not as
Shift in
I don't know what
energy.
to call it, like a hiatus, I guess, right? Because it's
Yeah.
just like, Girls' Generation was done.
Yeah.
And then they
Everyone
came
had their
back.
careers.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, Yuna on King the Land.
Such a good
And
show.
Oh
right.
man.
And they did that like pretty much at the same time, it seems like.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
filming for that and recording the new song. So I think I think this is a hiatus though. I think we're about to get it.
It is unique to Blackpink though because of how popular they got globally, right?
Right,
They
yeah.
all have avenues internationally that they can follow, and beyond that, beyond the scope of just like the K-pop world, they're like brand ambassador
Right.
juggernauts
For the
right?
the biggest brands out, Chanel,
Celine, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just
you put them in anything, it's going to sell. It's
Oh.
going to attract people. Look at the Oreos that went up
Oh,
on
gosh.
eBay. For
I know.
example. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Like people love Blackpink, and for that reason, I don't think I agree with you, Warren. I don't think they could ever truly disband.
Right.
Especially not in name, but to what we were saying about YG, they are in a position where they could do all of this on their own. They all have the ability, the power, and the experience now. And it's like when remember when Twice signed their contracts again?
Re-signed,
re-signed it. And before that happened, everyone's like, "Oh, is this the end of Twice? 7 years is done, right?"
Right.
When they signed it, I'm sure that they got better terms and stuff.
Oh, of course.
But JYP, I feel, is like a little bit more flexible in giving those girls what they want. I'm so curious to see if YG will do the same, return that energy, or if they all would be better, kind of becoming like global stars under global management, not just YG. I don't know. It's hard to say.
And also at the same time, like if you think about Blackpink, they are quite different in the fact that like you look at all these other groups right now, and it's like, okay, mini album, full, mini album, like twice a year, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like aespa, they release their album and then they release better things,
little things. Yeah.
While on tour, it's like they do so much, and they do that like a few times a year. Whereas Blackpink,
it's like one every 3 years.
Right. I'm trying to think. Before
Shutdown.
They did before the album and Born Pink. The only thing they did in between was like the show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they dropped any like singles or anything else in between. It could be wrong.
I don't think
I can't recall.
Right.
But that was years in between, right? And it's like, so they already weren't on a normal path that these other groups were. Maybe that's really good for their benefit, right? They stand out that way. But like you said, Law, if you ever see them, you're gonna be like, that's Jenny from Blackpink.
Yes.
That's Jisoo from Blackpink, right? So I think they will always be attached to it. But as far like, I don't know, I feel like YG, they'd be dumb to do it, but it's like you said, they can't juggle so many at the same time. They might just kind of like let them go and be like, you know what? Yeah, go do your own stuff. Let's talk again in a few years.
Come back in 5 years.
Right? Yeah, like because that seemed to be kind of what they did before. So if it's if history repeats itself, then it might be Well, I think regardless, it's going to be a few years before we get another album, just because that seems to be their trend, right? So
it's so funny. Like I really wanted to go to this Encore show because in my head it's just like this might be the only time.
We said this for the last LA show too.
You know what I mean? Like I almost
Yeah.
bought tickets to Coachella specifically to see the girls there.
Right.
And obviously buying tickets for any concert in the K-pop realm is very expensive.
Oh my gosh,
But for
stress.
Blackpink,
Stress. Oh my gosh.
But my question to you guys, because you both were there, you both enjoyed it. Did the girls seem to be enjoying the energy? Did it feel like they were still excited to be performing? I mean, that's like also a key to like maybe their intentions in the future, right?
They seemed plenty excited to me. It was like really energetic. Like having gone to, so Warren and I went to the Atlanta one, and the energy was good. And then I would say the LA show in 2022 was like, I felt like their energy was better then than it was in the Atlanta show.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then I would say this time for this one, and we got the Coachella set as well. So, you know, they changed it up and it's a little bit more fresh for the girls to perform rather than like the same thing that they've been doing, you know, for a long time. But they were coming with the energy. Like in our suite, we had a couple of other besties who went to see them in San Francisco, and they were already saying like, "Oh, the energy was so good in San Francisco." And that was only 2 days ago. And they were in LA and they're just like, wow, this is even better. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
I mean, like, yeah, I just
think
had
they
such
love
a
what they
good
do.
time. Yeah, I think they love what they do. They have fun with it. I just think that it's exhausting.
Well, and unfortunately, there's like so much more that goes into it that we don't see, right? Like negotiating contracts has to be just such a pain in the butt because it's like you're about to dedicate your life, you know, for a year, for 2 years, however long it takes, you know, and it's like then you have your own stuff and like they have so much other stuff. So it's like, you know, unfortunately, it doesn't just come down to like, hey, let's just perform, right? Let's just sing, and stuff like that, right? But no, yeah, their energy was great. I always like they were playful, they were hype. I always think it's, you know, very different in LA specifically because they talk about, you know, like drinking the LA water and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
we're a little wild out in LA.
Yeah. So I thought they were. I'm like trying to remember Atlanta because all I remember is like, oh my gosh, they're right there in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys were like barricade, right?
Barricade, yeah.
Oof.
So we were like barricade on the like extended stage too. So it's like they were like, well, one, it was really hard to see when they were in the backstage. I feel bad for Wendy because she's like,
I was like this
because I was already kind of having to like look up a little bit, and there's a Wendy next to me. I was like, oh no. But when they were like right there, you're like, oh, they're real. Like, it's real, crazy. But actually, now that I think about some clips that I have recorded, I think, LA, there's just something about LA, man.
Yeah.
But they were full of energy and they were great. They were laughing. Rosie was crying at the end.
Yeah.
Which is like another thing. You're like, why are you
sad? Hold on. Yeah.
Like, hold on. Maybe that's just us reading too much into it because they cried before. Like Rosie, well, there's plenty of clips of
Rosie got a little emotional in Atlanta too. A little bit. I think it was during Stay or one of the ballads, and she kind of looked down and she was like,
well, it's also so touching, right? Like,
it is.
Like going to any city, seeing a packed house and everyone singing along in a language that they don't speak half the time. You know what I mean? Like, it's a really powerful experience. I had a friend, their first K-pop concert was the LA show that you guys just went to for Blackpink.
Oh, sweet.
And I like messaged them because their post was about the energy, and I was like, there is not better energy at a concert than a K-pop concert full of the
for
stands.
real.
You know what I mean? Like, I haven't been to Taylor Swift, I haven't been to Beyonce, but I have been to Twice, I have been to ITZY, you know, I've been to BTS, and the way that it's a community event, it really feels like everyone is there to celebrate with each other. And that's definitely the energy that Blackpink will receive because they are so well loved. Like, you could arguably one of the best, if not the best, girl group for some. You know what I mean? Like I have my personal favorites, obviously, but
of course,
but generally speaking, like, it has to be so amazing to be on that stage because like all four of them, regardless of what path they go to, I cannot see any one of them not performing for the rest of the night.
Correct.
Sure.
Especially
No, of
Lisa,
course.
like
Especially like Lisa,
born
exactly.
to be on the stage. Yeah.
And then Jisoo and Jenny, like you mentioned, the acting thing, and Rose is like
Rose, her voice
also-
though is like
she's
Solo album. Let's go.
she's so
Full solo
talented. For
Oh,
real,
yeah.
for real. Totally. I say if it when I feel like whenever she hits like whenever she says certain lines, I get chills watching like
she's
live sets. Like she's
Yeah.
super talented. All of them are so talented. I don't know. But we do support them, obviously. We went to the pop-up in LA.
Oh, yeah. We can talk about
went
that
to
now.
Before we get into that, I have two things that I'm going to touch on really quick, and then I do
Yeah,
want
do
to
it,
talk
do it.
about the pop-up. So I just remembered Jenny because through all of their touring, this final leg of the tour was their first time performing at a stadium.
Right.
Oh.
Jenny said something to, my memory is like really blurry on this, but I do remember her saying, she's like, I don't think we're quite used to the stadiums yet, but we'll be, I think my brain wants to say, my memory wants to say, we'll be, but we're better prepared for next time. I have the clip, I think.
Okay.
Or somebody's probably TikToked it at this point, but I will look
Okay.
through my phone and see.
Well, that's
if I
nice
have
to know.
that specific.
Yeah.
But I do
That
remember
is
her
good.
saying that, or something along those lines. And then the other thing is that Jisoo is going to be in another K-drama.
Amazing.
She is going to be, I guess, co-stars with actor Park Jung Min, who is from Dongju, The Portrait of a Poet. I have not seen it.
I haven't seen that.
And this is from, let's see, what is it called? It's called Influenza.
Oh, she's gonna be in that?
And it says, yeah, I guess so. The
Oh.
article from
Heard about
Mashable
that.
Middle East says Influenza weaves a gripping narrative around a soldier and his girlfriend amidst the world plunged into a zombie apocalypse.
Wow, that'll be interesting.
Let's go,
She's-
Jisoo. I want to see her fight a zombie. Let's go.
She was really great actress.
Yeah.
She was a really great. I mean, zombies is gonna go to bite her. She's gonna go, no, never.
I know. I was gonna say zombies coming up. She's like, me so scary.
He's so scary. Hey,
She'll look at the zombie.
slowly.
My heart bouncy.
I know
scary.
his face.
I know scary.
I know your face.
Yeah,
one's
I
my
know your
favorite.
face.
Yeah. No, but Snowdrop, I didn't like the show because I thought
But
it
you
was
liked
just
her.
a terrible ending.
Oh,
But she was fantastic. Like she was
Yeah.
awesome.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So something to look forward to. Love
Definitely.
seeing that Jisoo's getting to be K-drama actress Jisoo.
mhm.
Yeah.
Love that
Mhm.
for her.
Heck
But
yeah.
Law, you were mentioning there was a pop-up, and all
Yeah,
three
I
of you
mean, it was.
What?
It's very exciting when we can all link up. I'll say
Yeah,
just like
in
as
person.
friends, but like to do it for K-pop stuff obviously has like a special air to it.
Sure.
But can we just talk about pop-up prices for a
Oh
second?
my gosh.
God.
There
Oh
was
my god.
the bicycle. I can't get over the bicycle. They had this bike there, and I don't even know if it was electric or not. Definitely didn't have a motor in it, like maybe an electric motor, but it was $3,500. And I'm like, who bought it?
$3,500.
Who bought
only
it?
10
Like,
limited, and I think it's sold out.
It didn't sell out the
Daisy
first
probably
day,
bought one.
which is good. That's funny.
Daisy, if you're watching, did you buy one?
Also,
DM
can we
you. I'm
write
gonna
it?
Ask you.
Yeah, can we
right?
be on it?
I just want to see it up close. I bought a t-shirt for $70, which is crazy to me. I don't spend $70 on t-shirts, but my friend made a good point is that because it was a collaboration with Verdy? Yeah. I also have it
Yeah, I
here.
kept it. I was like, this
Sorry.
is designer
Hey,
stuff. They gotta
well,
keep
yeah.
Pretend this is not new jeans in it.
Yeah. I love it. But yeah, like because it's a collaboration, I can see that, like the price being,
Sure.
hyped up a little bit. And the quality of the shirt is actually quite good. I will say that. But there were some things like, it's just funny how merchandise works because you could price it any way you want and people are going to buy it. But like the
Especially
beanie, for
Blackpink.
example,
Oh, I bought the beanie. Yeah.
$50 for a beanie is like a wild price.
It-
but
Yeah.
it's
The
Blackpink
light stick
merch.
is cheaper than the beanie. Aren't these $45? Oh no, they're 55.
Still like comparable, right? Like
Yeah,
I
comparable.
mean, that's a light stick price though. pretty much.
But here's what really messes me up is that we stood in the sun. We got there, I think the first day of the LA pop-up.
Yeah.
We went through the experience. It was really cute. They had like some photo opportunities. But then the next day is when Rose.
Oh, I know.
And Jenny. Jenny
I
went
know.
too. Yeah, they went to sign their mirrors. I don't think Jisoo ever went.
No, never.
That I know of.
Never.
Never.
I know.
My son.
That is my son.
Yeah. So this pop-up is essentially not the first one of its kind. Like the collaboration is between Verdy, which is a very popular Japanese graphic artist, and they have this little like mascot named Vic. And he's done many collabs with, like, say, for example, like the Universal or the Illuminations Minions and stuff like that. And so they had this pop up in London. They had it in New York. From what I can tell, it's the same setup, same kind of photo op things, and same merchandise. And I don't think UK got a different set than we did. But I will say, I understand that this was a Blackpink and Verdy collab, which is so great. But if nobody told me it was Blackpink, I would have walked in and not realized it was really Blackpink. Because
because the branding for it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Because there were Blackpink logos, like this logo that we see and on stuff, and it said Born in Pink. But it didn't have photos of the girl, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, actually, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, they weren't.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are not featured in the pop-up at all, actually.
No.
They only had those mirrors. You know those mirrors in the second room?
Yeah, with like their names.
But that was about as much as getting to like seeing a Blackpink directly related photo.
All I remember is
not even a photo op.
All I remember actually is the thing that said Blackpink World Tour.
Yeah,
the big heart.
Yeah, because everything else just said I think like BP.
BP, yeah,
Verdy,
that's so. I didn't even think about that till now. Yeah, that's really interesting.
And it's so funny because like I did the Twice pop up earlier this year too, and like in line they gave you a sticker pack with all of them. They gave they
for free.
Like the merch had them on their faces. Now, granted, the quality of the merch is a lot worse, but the prices were cheaper. But every photo op was kind of like Twice was involved in some way. Either they had like their little notes or signatures out there, or they had pictures of them. Even like the merch, while poorly designed, sorry, I have to say it, while poorly designed, it did have their faces. And I've said this to both of you before. Like, if I'm gonna wear merch of a K-pop group, I want you to see the group.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I want their faces on me. Let me be a billboard. I'll be a Blackpink billboard. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Gladly.
Wendy's just
look at on my shoulder.
I will tell everyone about that.
For real, yeah, and we do. That's a really good point, Wendy. I didn't even think of that.
I'm like looking through my pictures.
Look through all your photos.
Yeah.
Right?
That's crazy. There's like no human element to that other than the people going.
As opposed to the Spotify one that they had last year, and the girls were everywhere.
Which is like normal for a pop-up.
Right,
like,
that's
even,
how
like the BTS ones. It's just like photos of
I don't want to
them.
talk about the BTS one. That was so disappointing.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. We talked about that on an episode actually.
Yeah, we did. I love them so much, but damn, that pop-up was a disappointment.
Listen, pop-ups can be like that. That's why it's always hard to commit the time to it.
It really is sometimes.
Also, my first K-pop pop-up was an incredible experience because Twice
showed up and he literally was like 2 foot away from us. You douchebag!
I have a bar set for pop-ups now. I honestly cannot believe that happened, but the experience was still fun because I was with once, and then it happened at the end of my experience, and I was just like, I can't believe it. But I did wait in line for hours.
Sure.
You know, I will say the Blackpink one, I didn't wait as long, you know. And we made a friend with a dog and our new
in line.
A friend named Leisha. But it was just fine for me.
Yeah, it was like,
like
okay.
overall.
Like
Yeah.
and like the merch, like I was like, I'm just gonna buy a beanie.
You just gotta get the beanie and the tote bag. Like
Right. Yeah. I was
legitimately
like,
that.
I want the tote bag
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
the most. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a beanie.
Buy the cheapest thing that you would use.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
literally, so I have like, I'm like watching this like video. So actually, yeah, it was like one sign when you entered that says Blackpink, presented by American Express,
yeah.
Blackpink, Born Pink, and the rest of everything just says either BP or it says Born Pink.
Born Pink, yeah.
Right. And then that one, like, yeah, it's the heart with the BP. The Verdy has the BP on it.
Mhm.
The big heart says Born Pink on it. And then there's just that one thing. Where is it? That, yeah, even like the big Verdy teddy bear thing has just BP on it. And then it just says Born Pink World Tour in that one side, which like is also kind of interesting because like, yeah, they were on tour, but this pop-up, I guess it's not wrong, but
Yeah.
it's like we're not at the tour right now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
like it's interesting.
Just
But
like
yeah,
in conjunction.
Yeah. It's interesting because I heard that the pop-up was because their partnership with Verdy, who became their like
Designer,
director of merchandise or something like that. I'm misquoting it, but director of something of merchandise design or something like that for the tour.
Oh.
But then the
Interesting.
Verdy stuff you can't find at the tour. The Verdy stuff was only exclusive to the pop-up, which is why like I know I really wanted to go because I do like Verdy stuff. Like I have like a Minion shirt with little Vic and Minion on it. So I knew I had to get something with this little dude on it. I don't think that it has a name, but I know I wanted it because it was exclusive. But I thought it was interesting that
I wonder if it's like a licensing thing or like an image thing, because like if you Warren, I'm looking at my photos now too, and the word Blackpink really doesn't show up a whole lot.
it doesn't.
And then
no.
And then when you see Blackpink, like the C will be backwards, or it'll say Born Pink over Blackpink.
Right.
They have the logo that you showed, but I wonder if they just weren't allowed to use their likeness and stuff. That can, again, like we don't know what goes on behind the scenes.
Right.
That it could be a legitimate reason.
You would think so when it's a Blackpink pop-up, but since it's like American Express and Verdy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things involved here. So I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm glad we went though. No
I
matter
am glad we went.
Yeah.
We
it
had
was
some
fun.
cool pictures from it.
We
took the photo booth was really cute.
We're adorable.
Really cute.
Yeah, it was very
I'll put the
cute.
photos of those.
Oh, okay, you're put up? Okay.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it in post.
Cute.
If I can find the photos, I actually don't know what I did with them.
I just saw mine. I have
like photos of them. I don't know what I did to mine. I think they're in the tote bag. Yeah, that's what I have. Probably I'll put that up.
We're cute.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
We're so cute. So I think overall, I'm glad for the girls for their tour to be ending because they've been on tour for such a long time.
A long time.
I am ready for them to get rest.
Yes.
To be with their families.
Yeah.
Sleep in their own bed.
Jenny's on vacation. She went to Arizona.
Who?
Jenny
went to Arizona.
What's in Arizona?
The Grand Canyon is all I got for you. But she I think it was like yesterday. She posted pictures and she was like gonna upload some vacation pictures, and then she did. So
yeah,
it could have been from before. No,
maybe
like as they're passing through.
Maybe. I mean, I would imagine you take a vacation after you finish.
That's true.
The U.S. part of the tour.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I mean, Arizona's right there. It's not.
I always like wonder, like I always assume, I guess I should say, when they post these pictures, it's always like super delayed.
It's always a later grant,
right? You're like, you're in.
It's a safety thing too.
It is. Like, no, of course you can't be in like
up.
Central Park. You take a picture, upload it right away. Like people are around in the Central Park. They're gonna see it, so you have to wait till you're gone. So
exactly. I mean, you see it with every group, like Idol, for example, like are posting their LA pictures now, and I'm like,
I saw that.
I'm like, it's been a couple weeks, baby.
It's funny because it's funny though, because I always try, if I like wherever I'm at, if I'm there like just the day before, the day after, I'm like running around just like downtown somewhere or something, like tourist attraction places. Like when I was in New York, like the day of the not Good Morning America. What did I get? The Today Show. After they
Today Show.
performed, I like walked around some areas for like a little bit. I went to Times Square and I just was like there for a little bit. I'm like, maybe they'll show up. And it's like, of course they posted pictures of them there. I'm like, when was that?
Yeah.
When could I have gone to have seen you? You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah, you just don't know.
you don't. Yeah.
One day
And
we'll get lucky.
They're
You never know.
safe like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we've each gotten decently lucky with like groups we love. Like Wendy, you and I like met them in the after whatever. What did they call that?
Yeah, the send off.
Send
The
off.
send-off barricade
Send-off.
thing you guys
Yeah.
did?
Yeah.
When it was still like they took their time and waved and
Yeah, they
interacted
didn't
with
come out on
the audience.
suitcases and stuff like that.
Once the suitcases that were entered the equation, it was just like they're like, bye, Mario
like,
Kart.
rather, yeah, I'm sure something happened. Someone tried to grab them or something to where they were like,
really?
I don't know, but that's typically what like. Okay, Taylor Swift used to, she like for the 1989 world tour. I think originally she would touch people's hands while walking on the catwalk. Someone tried to grab her, probably not like, intending harm or anything, just like, oh my gosh. And after that, they're like, nope, put the barricade first. She can't touch anybody. Yeah, exactly. So maybe something like that happened. And they're like, all right, well, we're just going to ride around these suitcases. And
some fans have no semblance of personal boundaries. Like even at KCON, there's a video of Hyunjin from Stray Kids, and he's like, he just finished his part, and someone's fan camming him, right? Because he's in the crowd
like when they were performing and they walked up in the crowd.
Right.
Okay.
And so he's doing his like handsome guy thing, and the girl behind him, you'll see a video of it now that I said it out loud, but the girl behind him was recording him from behind, right behind him, like inches, and she was just like touching his shoulder and his back and stuff, and I'm like, this is why this won't happen again next year,
right? Because
he's
gonna go back and be like,
it's not like he reached down and was like, all right, like consenting, like
you shouldn't. She's literally filming and just like
that's
full on
weird.
hand on shoulder.
Yeah,
and
just
granted, he didn't react like, oh, what?
Because he's a professional, right?
Exactly. You have to keep it together. But
just general PSA for everybody. Like,
yeah, they're real people.
You can't like, don't ever touch them unless they're like consenting. Like Wendy said, like it's one thing to be at a concert, like reaching out for them. Like that's like, obviously like totally different. Or like, okay, like Taylor Swift's a perfect example. When I saw her Reputation tour, she specifically had she had like one main stage and then two stages like in the back. And she would go between the two stages in the back. She would walk, and there was a barricade specifically set up to where she was actually going to touch people. That was like the specific thing where she was going to reach and like touch hands. And security is like right on her the entire time. They're like, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. And if you didn't, they're like,
then you get penalized somehow. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. But like, that's what ruins things, unfortunately, is because, like, think about yourself. Do you just want to be touched by someone you don't know? Granted, it's different granted, it's different for idols because they know who they are and they know people love them. And like, I totally get it. Yeah. But we don't want to put anyone in harm, and that is kind of what like makes security go, you're not doing that anymore.
Exactly.
So, too much liability.
Yeah, because it's not all up to them, right? They have managers, they have security, they have PR. Like there's so much that goes into this stuff. And unfortunately, not all decisions are up to them. So
So to I guess wrap up for today's episode, don't touch idols.
Don't be weird.
Don't be weird about it. Right.
Don't be weird with your idols. Like, we all love them. They're called idols because we idolize them, obviously.
Interact with them respectively.
And well, what I was going to say is if like most of the time, like, okay, there's the perfect example of, I'm going to forget who it was. I think it was Taeyoung. And someone threw like a bear at her one time. She's like, doesn't even look. She grabs it and she just like throws it back.
Oh yeah.
I think it's,
I love that clip.
It's a great clip, but it's like, cause I've seen Karina from Aspa too. Like people, like someone threw something at her and she's like singing and she's like, and then like someone threw it again and she's like She's like,
Yeah,
stop
yeah.
it.
He's like, stop it.
Right.
No more.
So for me, like I gave the rose list twice. Like I have all the footage and I like raise it to them and I'm just kind of
You say,
like,
can I give this
do
to
you want it? And each time they're like, throw it. So I threw it.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
if they
But you
were
got
there, I wouldn't be like, take my flower.
Yeah,
Poosh, like,
or if you're NMIX's case, you give them your baby.
oh gosh, that's such a weird clip. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a weird clip.
Crazy.
And
So
she's
all
like,
that to say,
"Ugh."
please, you guys, like,
Don't do
like,
stuff
they're
like
all
that.
real people. Yeah, the
baby
experience
part's
that,
crazy.
like, if you give an idol a bad experience, that affects the fandom. It affects like how they deal with us, you know.
Mhm.
And so I don't know. We're all very supportive of these girls and all these groups. So
And I hope everyone meets them in a very
yes,
awesome way.
absolutely, in a safe, respectable way. I don't care if they have to wear gloves when they give you a high touch, or if there's a
Just get rid of that glass.
plexiglass barricade. I don't care. I hope you get to see your idol up close. Just don't be
Yes.
weird when you get there.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
Yes, I know it's
like
very exciting.
it is, and
It is.
I get it, but the sad
get
thing is like literally out of just millions and millions and millions of fans, one of them, one single one, can ruin it for the millions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
One high touch goes wrong, and the group goes, "We're never doing that again."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the safety of the members.
Yeah. No, which should be first. So.
Yeah, should always
It
be
is.
first.
Oh, but let us know your thoughts on
Yes.
Blackpink.
Mhm.
Did you go to a show? Let us know how the energy was. Let us know what you felt, and let us know what you think. Again, I don't think they're ever gonna permanently disband. They'll come back if they don't do something for a long time. But
Yeah.
we'll see. We wish them
We'll
all the
see.
best, no matter what.
Yes, we
I
love them.
always
We
hope
support
that they'll
them.
be in our area. Yeah.
Aww.
How you like
All right,
that?
guys. How you
Mhm.
like that?
Hit him with a
Until
do,
next
do, do.
time, we will.
Oh, this
see you
one,
soon.
this heart, got it. All the hearts.
That's a
Like
heart.
Oh,
It's like 3 hearts.
Oh
wait,
my god.
that's
Yeah.
kind of
Hold on,
fire.
I have to
Yes,
attempt that
there we
before we
go.
go. Together like this.
Yeah.
And then what?
And then the thumbs and the hearts, the normal hearts.
Like this?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
So
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
There's 3 of us.
There you go.
This is so cute.
Now we're
I
all
love it.
Bye,
learning.
everybody.
Bye.
Sign off now.
Bye.